Hey guys, Theatric Dyspraxic again. Part 2 of my live stream of my walk. We're walking back now, except I'm going to check out a little bit more of this neighborhood. Because it's a really nice neighborhood. And I'm not gonna film like into people's houses or anything, but I'm going to just take a look around. I mean, I don't want to just go pointing this thing right at people's houses, but some of these houses look really nice. But I try to respect people's privacy. Jeez. Barbie doll just lying on a porch. I don't know what it is about houses. I just have a fascination with just how nice some of them look. I like any house that looks unique and different. It's very intriguing to me. Sailors, dogs. Dogs gotta bark. They gotta bark when they see a stranger walking by. Sailors. Ooh. Well, well, well. Oh, well. Well, well, well. Oh, well. Well, well. Oh, well. Corey Fox joined. How long are you gonna last before you tune out? Sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh, he's gone. Like I said, people will come by for a second and they realize what I'm doing and then they'll just leave. Oh, they probably think I'm weirdo. I'm a weirdo. I am weirdo. I'm the 6th Marx brother. Weirdo. Sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at some cavemen go. He's in the best-selling show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. This is actually kind of fun, even though nobody's watching. It's still kind of fun to just do this. To just record sort of me dilly-dallying and taking walks around. Just for fun. This is such a boring thing to do. But amazing things happen on walks. That's right. I said it. Like you'll get hit in the face with a frisbee. That happened to me once on Easter. I was in the park on Easter and there was a family out in the, and they kids just threw a frisbee that just happened to smack me right in the forehead. Got a rock in my shoe. And some stickers. That's going to be fun to dig out later. Oh, another temporary guest. I don't even know this person. Hello. Welcome to my boring live stream. Goodbye. It's kind of funny because whenever I see people like come in, like it'll say that somebody's like tuned in, and then it shows that nobody is. I just picture like somebody just coming into a room, looking at like something going on, and then be like, okay, and then leaving, just walking out. Children. Oh, children. Stop acting like children. You're having a hell of a lot more fun than I am, I can tell you that. Something fun going on. not gonna film people. People just hanging out. Somebody's barbecuing. It smells good. I have to admit, it's kind of weird for me to say this, but I have to admit that sometimes, like when I walk by and somebody's having like a little shindig, I kind of half wish they would like invite me. It's kind of weird. You know, I'll just like pass by because I don't get invited to things. I don't go to parties. I don't have shindigs of my own. So it's like if I see somebody just hanging out with some friends and they're having a good time, even if I don't know any of the people, I just like kind of think, well, I would like to be a part. I'd like to be included. I guess it's an ego thing. There's a kangaroo. Kangaroo. Kangaroo, la-roo, la-roo. And dinosaurs. What is going on here? Framers wanting Mike's construction. Peppers, tomatoes, squash, zucchini. So you find all sorts of interesting things when you take walks. And it's sun's starting to dip. It's starting to go away for a little while. And I don't know where I'm going. Maybe I should head back and just start filming people outside doing whatever they were doing. Sailors fighting in the dance hall. Is there life on Mars? You tell me, is there life on Mars? What about David Bowie? You're up in heaven. He has scars that can't be seen. And he probably knows by now. His question has probably been answered. I'm just going to go back the other way. Because I have no... Well, nah. It probably leads to the same kind of place. I'll find my way home. Even if I wave at people, they don't stay. Story of my life. Shoo, 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 shoo. Shoo, 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 shoo. Shoo, 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 shoo. There's a worm. There's a worm got on the lens. More nice houses with cool looking garages and all that. This is the Weatherford I remember. Even though I have never been down these streets before, it's like reminds me of the neighborhood I used to live in. Which maybe one of these days I'll do another live stream where I walk down my old neighborhood of Bridge Street on the other side of the courthouse. And maybe I'll show my old childhood home for a little bit. It's a little bit derelict. You know, it's not a great little looking house, but obviously seen through my nostalgic rose-colored glasses, it's every time I see it, it just brings me right back to being like a 6-year-old and seeing that house again. And I think like, man, I wish I could just look at the inside. Nostalgia is a painful feeling sometimes, and it's beautiful at the same time. It's like a sweetness, but it's, you're longing for something that's gone, you'll never get back because, you were a child. And even if you were to manipulate the conditions of your, of your life to being exactly the way it was, you would be different. You are the one that changes. If I grew up in where I live now as a kid, then, I'd feel nostalgic about that. And I'll probably feel a little nostalgic whenever I leave. I don't know. Because, when in your current state, things kind of seem shitty. And the future doesn't look bright. But whenever you look back after the fact to a place that's no longer a part of your life, you think, wow, I kind of miss that old place. I do think I enjoyed the house on Bridge Street while I was living in it. Because again, I was just 6. And like I said in my last video, my last stream, when you're a child, even the most mundane things, even poverty, even living in derelict, drab kind of conditions, like, you still feel sentimental. It still feels like, because you don't know any other life, you don't know any better, you just like living. And as an adult, it's kind of like you don't really like living anymore. I mean, I guess some people do. I don't really understand. I don't really know. I mean, I can imagine. That's the thing. I mean, that's the sad thing, is I can imagine a good life, a nice adult life. What kind of life it would take, what kind of conditions would allow me to at least enjoy life. Maybe not happy, because I still have my own problems, my own mental problems. I would still have dyspraxia. I would still have depression, probably. But if I had the money to treat it, get some hardcore meds, some pretty rockin' pharmaceuticals. That's not what you call them. Some sort of placebo. Nobody's ever called it a pharmaceutical. I'm dumb. I start getting hungry around this time, but we usually don't eat until midnight or 1 in the morning usually. Because my brother has a routine as well. He'll work to a certain point in the day. I'm just going to go down here for a bit. He'll work at a certain point in the day doing what he does with DoorDash. And then he'll come home and then go to the park around 9 p.m. Obviously. And then he'll run until 10. Then he'll get home and kind of relax until 11. And it usually takes about 2 hours or so to make dinner. An hour and a half, maybe. And so we don't end up eating until noon. Or not noon, midnight. Or 1 in the morning. I'm getting kind of tired, but I just enjoy walking. It can be peaceful at times. Very solitary. I don't know if anybody who watches this later is going to watch the whole thing, or if they're going to get some sort of enjoyment out of it. I'm sure it's not very relaxing or peaceful to watch somebody walking. But I don't know. Sometimes you like to share just to share, even if nobody cares. I know that rhymes. You just want to share a little bit of your life. And then, hey, maybe one day I'll look back and be like, oh yeah, it was a different time. That's the interesting thing about recording things, is you can look back at them later whenever things are different. I'll probably look back at these videos and be like, man, I was so hard on myself. I was such a downer. But that's just kind of the way it is for me. It's hard. I know that women don't find guys attractive if they're down on themselves, if they just seem... And a lot of women will say that guys who have low self-esteem will manipulate girls into feeling pity for them, feeling sorry for them, and they'll kind of trick them into being interested in them because of pity or something. I don't know about that. I'm sure that there have been people who have become somewhat interested in me purely out of pity, and then they get fed up with it, they get sick of it, and then they leave, and that's, routine. But it's not intentional. I don't intend to be that kind of person that drives them away. I don't manipulate people. I don't try to mess with people, get in their heads or anything. Everything that they do is a conscious decision on their part, and they have every right to choose whatever they want to do. If they don't want to stick around with the person, fine. I don't necessarily think it's toxic unless it's intentional. If somebody's just depressed, that's an illness. It's a mental illness, and it's not really something that they can help. I know that so well because I've suffered from depression for so long now. Well over a decade at least. A common state. It's a very recurring state for me. It's almost chronic. And I admit that there have been times where I have driven people away because of it. Because of the things that I've experienced in my life. It's not just typical depression, because there's just things that I've experienced where I've met so few people who have dealt with the same exact thing. And you don't know what to do with yourself, and you just feel even worse. So I end up, just getting more depressed and more self-doubting and hating. And I know that, that's not the kind of person I want to be, and I try to fight against it, but it overpowers you. It wins in the end. Trying to let them go. It's always that awkward moment where you try to let them go and they try to let you go, but I don't want them to see what's on my phone. It's like, what is he doing? Those people are Mexican, they probably don't talk like that. Ooh, another bridge. It's starting to get a bit dark, so you may not be able to see as much. But I'm going to take a look over this bridge. Might be a nice jumping bridge. No, that's messed up. Holy crap. Oh, I thought it was deeper than it was. Whoa. I got a message. Oh, yeah. I was going to talk to my brother up in Washington later today. He was just messaging me saying you can call in a couple of hours or something. We've been trying to talk for a few days, but our schedules just didn't line up. Now I'm on the wrong side of the road. And you see yourself. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just gonna see where the road takes me. Oh, you know what? I think I know where I am now. And I don't feel like going that route. So I'm just gonna go back. Yeah, this is not a very interesting route. What was I saying? I was talking about depression and how sometimes people leave you for it, even if they themselves suffer from depression. And I kind of think it's a bit hypocritical for somebody to say, they've gone through similar experiences, like, oh, I know exactly how you feel, and then they abandon you, not because you're like abusing them or because you're using them in some kind of way. You could try to be a very positive force in their life, but you just you backslip. You go, you just kind of relapse into those intense feelings of darkness, and instead of just riding it out with you or waiting it out, they just kind of walk out. They're just like, I'm done. And some people say it's toxic. I can't, it's a trigger. But I still think it's wrong for one person who understands depression to abandon somebody else who has depression because of that, because they're experiencing the throes of that depression. Because you understand, you should know as much as anybody that they can't help it. It's like a disease attacking them. And people don't talk about how depression that way. They talk about depression like it's a state that you're in. Like it's just an emotion. Anybody can feel depressed, but to truly feel depression, to be, to be possessed by the depression, well, it's not their fault. It's psychological. Part of it is chemical, but not always. Part of it is the society that we live in. And the way we are now, we all communicate through phones and texting and all that stuff, and people just don't talk anymore. And we're just disconnected from each other. I could go on about it, but I don't feel like it. But you get what I'm saying. We're not as connected as we used to be. And we're all just sad. There's more people depressed in the world today because we feel like we're alone. We don't feel connected to people anymore. That's why a lot of people end up getting diagnosed with autism and Asperger's and stuff. It's not because they have it. It's because, we just live in a society where it's hard to relate to people anymore and hard to connect. And whenever you don't really have that when you're younger, then it's a hard skill to possess. It's one of those things. Social skills is kind of something you have to be exposed to from an early age so that you can develop them over time as you get older. And of course it doesn't affect everybody because there's still, teenagers out and about with their friends, Snapchatting and all that. But, that doesn't mean that we're any more connected. Because even though we're out with each other, or they're out with each other, they're still trying to show off to their friends back home. The friends who aren't there, rather than just enjoying the moment. And that's one good thing about walking, about just taking walks, whether you're by yourself or you're with another person. It's that being in the moment, being mindful. I was talking to somebody online yesterday. They said that they couldn't understand atheists who just want to live in the moment because they're constantly thinking about what's going to happen to them after they die. And I was thinking about that. And I was thinking about how that is the most depressing thing to me about Christianity, is wasting your life for an afterlife that you aren't even sure exists. you know, and spending so much time thinking about that you don't live your current life. It wouldn't make a difference if my life was good, if I was happy, you know, it wouldn't make a difference if I believed in an afterlife or not. If things were going well, I'd be happy for it. I don't think in terms of, oh, none of this has any meaning because there's no realm after it. Just that, you know, that's the reality that I am aware of. That's the reality that I just know. So, it's like, how, it's just something you accept, you know, it doesn't affect, it's not like it has much bearing, it's not like one of the things that gets me down. It's just one of the things, it's just, it would make no difference. You know, my unhappiness, my depression is unrelated to whether or not there's a heaven or an afterlife of some kind. I'm okay with death being the end. It kind of seems peaceful, you know, it's like eternal sleep. You're not affected by anything anymore. And you live on in the memories of others. I mean, hell, this video is gonna last longer than I'm alive. So, you know, years and years from now, if anybody happens to come across this video for some reason, of all the videos from the past, after my death, you know, people can theoretically come across this video and see me living my life while I was still alive. And I won't get to do that because I'll be dead. I'll be gone. My consciousness will have faded away. And, while they'll be living their lives. And I'll be hoping that they're living a life better than mine, better than the way, I hope they be doing something more with their life than what I've done with mine. Hope they're a little bit more privileged than me. I mean, I'm not scared of death. I mean, I'm scared of dying. If it happens, like, you know, if somebody's like, I'm gonna kill you, if they come across with a gun pointed at you, and they're like, I'm gonna kill you, you know, in the next 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna be terrified for the next 10 seconds. I'm gonna be more scared than anything in my life. But that, you know, I'm not gonna be afraid of what's gonna happen as I'm dead, because I'm gonna be dead. It's gonna be just like before I was born. That's it. And I don't remember anything before I was born because I did not have memories. I did not have consciousness. I was nothing. At best, I was a sperm in 1993 or 1992, or I don't know how long a sperm's life cycle is. When sperm actually form in your father's family jewels. So I don't know exactly when I would have formed as a sperm. But you get what I'm saying. It probably wasn't like 1993. It was probably like a year before I was born. And then I got to the age of a sperm's life where it's time to ship out. And my sister and I happened to get there together. Her sperm, my sperm, the sperm me, and the sperm her. And then we traveled to our respective eggs that both got fertilized because we're bomb, because we're badass. Probably fighting each other, I'm gonna be born, motherfucker. Nuh-uh. I'm gonna fertilize that egg first before you get to it. And then in the process, we both fertilized it, the eggs, and then they both got, we both started forming. I think that's how it happens. And then we shared that womb for 9 months. And then on the day of love, Valentine's Day, that's when we popped out together. No, we didn't, not together. I came out first. And I wasn't breathing. That's fun. You know, everything was always delayed with me. And then my sister came out. And everybody was happy then. That was the byproduct. Let me see yourself. I haven't heard Hunky Dory enough to know all the words to all the songs. He was a great artist, though. It's sad that I didn't really get into him until after he died. So his death didn't really shock me or affect me as much. I was more affected by Alan Rickman's death. Because, you know, I saw him as Snape in Harry Potter. But yeah, David Bowie, what a talent, what a guy. Lost. But he had quite a career behind him. And it's a miracle that we can still listen to his music like Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust. If I had anybody watching right now, I'd ask them how they were. But like 5 people came and went in like the matter of like a second. So here I am in my lonesome. And have to admit, it does get kind of lonely sometimes, you know. I feel like a loser just kind of being out and about just by myself. Never really out with people, never really with someone. But it might be for the best, because I might drag them down anyway, you know, as much as I try not to. Yeah. I want to feel beauty in life, even if I can't feel beauty in myself. And I don't just mean on the outside, because I don't see myself as a beautiful person. I suffer from body dysmorphia. I hate my appearance. I think I'm ugly. I think my face is ugly. I think I have an ugly body. My hairline that's the worst of it all. I never thought it would end up like that. I never thought that my hair loss, I never thought I would lose my hair. And I never thought that if I did lose my hair, I would lose it in such a horrible manner, you know, and unfortunately, in our society, we base so much on looks, negating the fact that we can't help how we look most of the time. We can't help our hairline. We can't help our face. Unless you can afford to get plastic surgery, but that's messing with nature. And I try to do what I can to slow down the hair loss and get new hairs and stuff. What I can afford, which is not much. And but I don't know, as a kid, these things didn't matter. I don't think kids really care about looks that much. They might rip on each other for being fat or whatever, but kids don't care, It's like if somebody's fun, if they're nice. And that's why even though adults never like me, kids do. A lot of the times. They don't care that I'm balding or that I'm getting fat. Or if I'm a nice guy, if I'm fun, that's all that matters to them. But adults are different. Adults work in a different way. Adults care about these things. If you're not beautiful, then you're not worth being around. And that's a stupid way to think, because it's the beautiful people or the attractive people that are usually the most boring. They're usually the most dull, uninteresting people have no personalities. Because they were spoiled. They got everything handed to them. And ugly people like me, we didn't. We have to try and develop a skill or a talent, even if it doesn't get us anywhere. I mean, I was a little bit of a cute kid when I was like 6, 7, precocious. But once I hit adolescence, it was kind of downhill. And then for a brief period, between 17, 19, throughout that time, 17, 18, 19, well, mostly 18, I was all right looking. I wasn't great, goofy, but you know, my hair looked pretty good, and with a beard, I kind of rocked the beard at the time. I was really skinny. You know, I looked all right, but once I hit 19, my hair started to go, and 20, whenever I started gaining a bunch of weight, that's when my looks started taking a real turn again. And here I am now, with severe body dysmorphic issues. This is a way too confessional than I expected it to be. Passing by Fuzzies again. Again, there's a lot of people. Attractive people. That's the hardest part about not being an attractive person, is whenever you go out and you just feel like everybody around you is way more attractive than you. Kids. I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're practicing dancing or something. Kids are like that, you know. I don't know when this is gonna shut off, you know. If I'll get home before then. Maybe I should shut it off now. I don't really have much else to talk about. I kind of just did this as a little experiment, and you know, I don't know. It was almost like I was talking to somebody, but I wasn't, which is sad, depressing, a loser, pathetic kind of thing to do. But I know it made the walk a little bit more enjoyable. I hate walking around here because it's always a dumpster that smells like dead bodies, which makes sense because it's like a meat market. So once things rot, they throw them in the dumpster. Yeah. Sorry this wasn't more interesting. I mean, you know, it just kind of was me rambling for 2 hours. But I don't know. Maybe next time I'll have someone to talk to. Probably not. I mean, I know there's people I can call, but I don't like bothering them, and I don't like burdening them, and plus sometimes I don't want to talk to a person for a bit, or whenever I do, it's like a bad time, they're already asleep, because late nights are hard. Anyway, that was my walk. If you made it to this part, I don't know why you would, but I hope you had some enjoyment of it. Bye-bye. Enjoy your evening.